Hello everybody and welcome back to the Director of Football Sabotage with Livorno. So of course in today's episode we are going to play through the January transfer window and we've got some fixtures to review since the last time we met. So following on from the game against Barcelona in the final group game of the Champions League, it was away against Sampdoria in Serie A and we were incredibly fortunate to get away with a win today. David Mammarella got the goal for us. Fick had a great game at left back. They had a man sent off in the 75th minute, which probably meant we were okay. They did come back into the game quite heavily after we went 1-0 up, but once they went down to 10 men, things calmed down a little and we got away with the 3 points. We then had the Italian Cup first round against Empoli at home. We did play a heavily rotated side and unfortunately we relied on penalties to go through, but we did go through in the end, but it was a bit of a kerfuffle. We then faced Bologna in Serie A at home and absolutely dominated them and won 4-0. Bologna are bottom of the league, so it is quite understandable. Ivanovic gave us the lead in the 9th minute through penalty. Zach got a double and Tristan Fick got a goal. They also had a man sent off in the 59th minute just to make sure we were going to get the win. And then the most bizarre thing happened. I've never actually seen this happen on Football Manager 2019, I don't think. But we had 2 league games in 2 days, I can see here. Lazio played first, which we won 4-2. Darian Schmidt getting a double in a rare start. Zach getting a goal and Milenkovic getting a goal as well. But yeah, I had to play like a half and half team, so half first choice, half second choice, to try and keep them fit for the game after. So the very next day we played Napoli at home and drew 2-2. We were quite fortunate in this game to get away with a 2-2 draw after going down 2-0 inside 40 minutes. But Zach came on and Crociati got a goal as well to secure the draw. Unfortunately for us, I think it was everybody in the league pretty much. Napoli definitely had 2 games in 2 days as well. So it wasn't just us, which was okay. And then the final game before the January transfer window was in the Italian Cup quarter-finals against Torino. Jord Banga gave us the lead and then Alberto Sarri equalised quite quickly. Filippo Ranocchia got the second goal for us to give us the win after we'd missed a penalty in the 20th minute. And before I check the league table, I can reveal that we will be facing Borussia Dortmund in the Europa League first knockout round. Now, they weren't the kind of side I was imagining I was going to face in the Europa League, but unfortunately it is, so we'll have to make the best of it. And in terms of the league table, this is how things stand. Everything is incredibly tight at the top. What's this? Only 5 points separating the top 6. Inter Milan on 43, Juventus on 42, and us are on 41. So a good set of fixtures and a good run of results could see us return back to the top of the league. So the January transfer window has started, and of course I've always got some transfers pre-arranged. The first of which was Stefano Gatti, is an Italian left-back. We're signing him for £1.7 million. He's only 18 years old and he does look quite well-rounded already. I'm trying to try and get him loan game time out because he's got plenty of potential to grow. He reminds me a little bit of Belangiuoli. We also signed Mats Hansen for £775,000, continuing our Norwegian theme that we seem to have. We've signed, there's quite a few Norwegians in our squad now, but he's a deep line forward, a striker, 2.5-star current, 4.5-star potential. He could find his way into the first team at some point, but for now, I'm going to try and get him loan game time. We also signed Ziga Abvejl, who's a 3-star striker, 5-star potential. He's the sort of striker who you could imagine would slot straight into the first team, but currently, due to the amount of strikers we've got, I am going to try and get him a loan game time out, but we signed him for £2.5 million. I think that was his release fee, and I think he looks incredibly well-rounded. Unfortunately, he is more of an advanced forward, similar to Darian Schmidt, and we don't currently deploy one of them in our formation. I don't think that would work with the tactic I currently run, but I think you will definitely see him actually, if not this season, next season. And then we've signed 2 more, and these 2 are probably going to go in the first team, if not the first 11. The first of which is Atanas Stoichev. We signed him for £4.3 million. He's a deep line playmaker in the defensive midfield department, and that's what I am playing currently. So I do see him starting quite a lot of games. He's a Bulgarian international, already got 7 senior international caps, so I'm glad to sign him. And then finally we signed Mate Solossi. He's a Hungarian, 16 international caps for Hungary, and he is a central midfielder, Metzala. Very similar to some of the other midfielders that we've got, but I could imagine him being a first choice as well, as he's a 3.5-star, 5-star potential player. So we do have £15 million available in the transfer budget, with 40. Actually, we're going to change that. We've got £13 million available in the transfer budget with £84,000 available in the wages. I am not on the hunt for anything in particular. I'm just waiting to see what happens in terms of outgoings. Carpano is still wanted, I do believe. He's actually not currently wanted, which is very, very surprising. He's been wanted all season. Unfortunately, I can't offer him a new contract, and he's only got 1.5 years left on his deal. So, I've got a big decision to make whether I try and force him out of the club now for a lot of money or try and keep a hold of him. I don't know. He's the best player in our squad by a country mile, a 4.5-star player with still potential to grow. His physicals are absolutely to die for. His defensive stats are to die for. His mental stats are good enough. I would not like to lose him, but unfortunately, he's not willing to talk to me. But there is still some others who are currently wanted. George Kovacs is wanted by a lot of Premier League clubs, Everton and Stoke, so some of them have went down. Of course, we had a £12.5 million bid from Blackburn in the summer that ended up falling through. I think George Kovacs rejected the contract. A couple other wanteds here. Filippo Ranocchia is transfer listed, as is Robert Martinez, who nobody wants. But yeah, we'll see how things go. So we have missed on one transfer. We approached this guy whose contract is coming to an end, Luis Engom. He's an attacking midfielder. He'd accepted a backup contract, but then Schalke has come in and I'm assuming either offered him more money or a better squad status. So he has decided to go for them. I'm not too disappointed at losing him. They've offered him a hell of a lot more wages. So that's probably why he's accepted their offer. So Benevento have come in and made an offer for Maros Petras. You might have completely forgot about him. He had a huge injury back, I think it was last season. And unfortunately, he's never found his way back into the first team squad. He is in the first team squad, but not in the first 11. So £2.1 million. He'll probably go to Benevento now. I'm sorry to say the back of him, actually. He played particularly... I don't think his average rating was great, but I always felt like he played well when he played in that season when he first joined. But unfortunately, he got that massive injury and it's just sort of ruined his career with us. In what's proven to be quite a quiet transfer window so far, Maros Petras has left the club. £2.1 million. We don't need to replace him. We've had some more offers come in. This time it's Filippo Ranocchia. It looks like he'll either be joining Bologna or Sassuolo after they both bid for him. £3.2 million for Sassuolo and £2.8 million for Bologna. We will be contributing wages to that deal, which I'm not incredibly happy with, but that's going to happen. Club Brugge have made an offer for Robert Martinez, our left back, £7.75 million. It's been accepted by our director of football. It is in a little bit of clauses and things like that, but I would take that for him considering he's our third choice left back. Well, he's our second choice left back really, but he's a non-EU player, so that's okay. And there we go. Robert Martinez has joined Club Brugge for £7.5 million. An excellent transfer for us. Brought him in on a free and now he's left the club. So we're currently sitting on £22 million with a lot of wages remaining. I have been looking about to see about any transfers and there is this guy who's popped up. Real Madrid have went in for him now, so it's probably unlikely I'm going to get him. But Martin Vaslik, he plays in Brazil, but he's actually a Czech international striker. And he looks absolutely unbelievable for £10.5 million. The problem is we've got too many strikers and we've got too many players currently in the first team squad who I can either not move on or I don't want to move on or they're loan listed and they can't get loan moves out. I think I am going to make the offer though and I'm going to activate his minimum fee release clause of £12.75 million and we'll see how that goes. And there we are. He feels playing in the Copa Libertadores is more important and is not interested in joining us. There we are. So the day before the transfer window ends, we do have a match against Palermo, and I am going to live comp this because, to be honest, not a lot is happening in the January transfer window. I will play towards the end of the transfer window deadline to see if that activates any sort of moves for any of our players, but that's kind of the only thing that's going to cause anything major to happen right now. So in today's game against Palermo, we are going to give a couple of debuts. Stoichev and Solossi. But yeah, they're going to get the debuts today. Ivanovic, Carpano, Kovacs and Fick and Jovanovic will be the back five. Stoichev, Solossi, Milenkovic, Claudio, Mamarella and Zach completing our first 11. And we kick off shooting from right to left in this first half. We are at home against Palermo, so I am expecting a win, ideally. 13 minutes in, we'll get our first highlight. Claudio's in the box, puts the ball over the top. Unfortunate, but good signs. Well, that was the one and only highlight of the first half and it comes to an end 0-0. Not great starts from us, but neither is it from Palermo. We are going to take the game to them a little bit more and go to a positive team mentality as going by the stats anyway, we are in charge of this game. Oh my god, straight from kickoff. I wasn't even commentating because you don't. First 20 seconds, highlight, it doesn't really matter. But Palermo go straight down the end of the pitch and score from a long range scream. And oh my god, look at the curve on that. The keeper has got absolutely no chance. And unfortunately, we go 1-0 down, so we are going to go attacking. And just as we do that, Claudio does get himself injured, so Jord Banga will get himself on in attacking midfield. And we pick up another highlight 15 minutes in. Long ball over the top by Palermo. Lofaso was in behind. What a challenge that was. Was that Kovacs? Kovacs with a challenge of the season. And now maybe we can break. Ivanovic puts the ball in and Zach's there. And he puts it in the other direction. The keeper cannot keep that out. That was Kovacs' goal. That wasn't Zach's. It wasn't Ivanovic's. It was that challenge that made it. Because we could have quite easily have been 2-0 down there. But we'll go up the other end and we get the goal and we're back level. Highlight now, free kick by Carpano from the quite far away. It was unrealistic. With only 20 minutes to go, we are going to make some changes. We're going to get Mamarella off, who's had a poor game. And should we get our new boy on? We'll get Ziga on. Although he is listed for loan, nobody's come in for him just yet, so we might as well use him while he's here. Darian Schmidt hasn't really given us any option to put him on. He doesn't perform all that well when he does get the chance. Carpano's having a poor game, but we'll keep him on for now. Solossi's not having the greatest debut, so we'll get him off for Crociati. Final 12 minutes of the match, and there is another highlight. Palermo are currently on the ball in an attacking position with a lot of space on the right-hand side, should they decide to switch. Marquesa, our old boy, come on, give the ball away. He doesn't, he sends it all the way back to the keeper. Palermo are keeping possession without really going anywhere with it, but looks like now they might have the opportunity to break, to send the ball over the top. Lofaso again. Can Kovacs make another challenge? He can't. Jovanovic keeps him out though. And there's another highlight. This time it's a corner from Palermo, directly from the last player. Carpano clears. Can we keep this out, please? 3 minutes to go. This looks like this game is going to sort of peter out into nothing. I've already made the team instructions and team mentality changes I wanted to make. And unfortunately, it's not going to work today. So it looks like we're going to end up drawing 1-1 with Palermo at home, which is a really disappointing result considering how tight things are at the top. And with a win, you never know where we could have ended up. And there we have it. Livorno 1, Palermo 1. We'll get out of this match and we'll play the rest of the January transfer window. So as we enter the final day of the transfer window, Filippo Ranocchia has left the club. I'm a little bit sad to see him go. He's an Italian defensive midfielder who did perform quite well for us when he joined the club. But he's left and he's joined Bologna for £2.8 million. And here we go. Giorgio Kovacs has become one of our starting centre-backs recently. And now Sampdoria have come in with a £12.5 million bid. They has decided to accept that offer, the director of football. Obviously, we were in this situation last summer and I sort of made moves based on it. And he didn't end up leaving. Now, do I go out and try and sign a monster centre-back? So the monster centre-backs just aren't available, unfortunately. But this guy has popped up. He's available for £8 million. I might be able to get that for less, but that's his minimum fee release clause. He's another Romanian. Physically, he's just stupid. Like, really, really good. Mentally, he's actually quite well-rounded, as he's got the standard defensive stats you need as well, without being too outrageously good. Another Romanian. I think I'll make an offer. So we have offered a contract to Moise Vlad Paul for £8 million, 15 grand a week, centre half. Whether it be first choice or not, I'm not too sure. Probably will be. Kovacs has decided to leave the club. He has left and joined Sampdoria for £12.5 million. There is a percentage of profit from next year, so there is a little bit of potential that we might make some more money from the deal, but I doubt it. Is Moise Vlad Paul better than, what's his face? Giorgio Kovacs. Kovacs is the better defender. He's the better player. As you can see here, they're very, very similar, but Kovacs has this... Moise Vlad Paul has the physical and the speed on Kovacs, so I think we are getting a little bit of an upgrade, maybe downgrading a little bit on the potential, but I think for £8 million after we've just sold Kovacs for 12.5, it's not a bad bit of business. So obviously now we've got Carpano and Moise Vlad Paul, two Romanian centre-backs, bossing our defence, hopefully, so, you know, I'm quite pleased with that little bit of business, I think I am. The transfer deadline day has now passed, so that is all that she wrote for this January transfer period. Looking forward to the next episode. It will be, of course, the Borussia Dortmund first knockout round in the Europa League, so I look forward to that. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.